BTS is mostly seen as a fun band in the music industry, with catchy songs and colorful music videos, but looks can be deceiving. Below the surface, the K-pop world has a lot of dark sides, and there are shocking struggles that K-pop stars go through as they put themselves and their lives on the line in order to achieve their dreams. Welcome back to our channel, and for today's video, we will talk about the sad and dangerous side that BTS hides from the army. Background. The Korean pop boy band BTS have become a global phenomenon over the past few years. They've broken world records with their music, and have even transcended into the North American music scene, despite their songs being written mostly in Korean. But the bright, shiny pop bands are often a facade for a sinister industry, plagued with sex scandals, eating disorders, and suicide. Companies. The K-pop industry works rather differently than the American music industry. A pop star is called an idol in South Korea, and the process of becoming one is tough. An idol has to sign with one of the many entertainment companies in the country. Most people get into a company by either auditioning or being street casted. After young, hopeful creatives sign with a company, they become known as a trainee and will begin the grueling process of preparing to become a singer. The K-pop industry has extremely high standards for its performers, so every day, trainees are given lessons in singing or rapping, depending on their aptitude. They'll also learn dancing, how to act, being funny on TV, foreign languages, and anything else a company sees as beneficial for its talents. This training period usually lasts a few years for most people, though some are lucky enough to only train for a few months, while others have been known to train for 10 years or more. Korean beauty standards. Aside from honing their trainees' talents, companies will also work on their image. South Korean society as a whole is known to have high beauty standards, and of course, celebrities are expected to be even more beautiful than average people. It's not uncommon for companies to suggest that trainees get plastic surgery before they can debut, usually to fix some features on their faces, such as their jaw, eyes, or nose. Kids as young as 10 are forced to diet in order to look a certain way. Perhaps it is evident at this point that in K-pop, companies run everything. In fact, individual creativity is not really something one should expect to be able to show as a K-pop star. Even an idol's look is not always their own. The colorful hairstyles that many K-pop artists have could be forced on them against their will. Suga. Regarding the dark side of the members of BTS, not much is known, but the two members, Suga and Jimin, Bak Jimin, have been the most talked about. As a child, Suga struggled to survive, making music on the streets and selling it. However, he was ripped off, and he often had to choose between a meal and a bus ticket home, which left him no choice but to skip many meals. Suga also suffered major depression around that time, as seen in lyrics in his song The Last on his 2016 mixtape, Augustine. Suga left his family and gambled his education just to do what he really wants to. He went through anxiety and depression just to reach his dreams. He was hated and called for being dark, scary, and having a cold heart. Jin. BTS's Jin is a dazzling star who loves making fans smile. He is also Kim Seok-jin, an ordinary man in his 20s who prefers to keep his dark side in the shadows. He said that sometimes he goes on the internet and look at fans' reactions. When something makes him happy, the fans are all happy for him. And when something sad or distressing happens to him, they all sympathize with him, feel sad for him, and even feel down. Therefore, he prefers to keep the dark and sad side to himself. Jimin is said to be addicted to practicing, and even practiced so much that he only got 3 hours of sleep and once got a nosebleed. This majorly stemmed from some armies telling him that he was gaining too much weight, which made him want to lose the weight. On a show, he admitted that he would go 10 days without eating a proper meal. He calls himself Pig because he thinks he's fat. But luckily, in 2017, Jimin released another solo song, Serendipity, about healing, which could link to himself. The rest of BTS. In addition, J-Hope, who seems to always laugh but never felt as an accomplishment to his parents. He auditioned to be a rapper instead of a vocalist in order to gain his father's acceptance. He dedicated his solo Mama to his mom because at some point he felt like a disappointment to his mother. Jungkook was a shy child and started to audition to companies at a very young age to remove his burden on his parents. He is sensitive and cries when he sees others having a hard time. Jimin has reported to have caught him crying because he misses his family. V also had a tough childhood and lived with his grandmother for 15 years and helped her on the farm. Jin auditioned to make his mother proud and so that she would have something to brag about. Despite his success on his solo Awake, he still doesn't think he's talented enough. To his debut, he cried because he was disappointed of his performance. RM's parents didn't support his singing career to the extent that his mother destroyed his computer and broke his mic so he could focus on studying. He got a lot of hate comments and death threats from his family. If you like this video, then make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos in the future. Also, hit the bell icon to stay up to date and be the first one to watch our latest videos.